An overview of the Zambian economy, it's largely expected to grow 6.5%. Most economists feel that way. Do you concur?
Oh yes, definitely. Things have been looking up for Zambia for the last couple of years. The copper sector, new mines opening up, mines expanding, new smelters, the agribusiness, a lot of the bigger agribusiness companies expanding themselves, and as well as the small sector farmers as well.
In March, when the IMF visited Zambia, they were quite bullish about the state of the economy, and they were encouraged by the fact that you had a low interest rate regime, that you had low inflation, and that there was a fairly stable exchange rate bolstered by copper prices, as we said earlier on. Fast forward to April, and the world is very threatened by rising food and fuel prices, which should invariably impact on the productivity of the Zambian economy. Can we really say realistically we're going to see 6.5% growth this year?
I think so. I think so. Things kind of tend to move quite slowly in Zambia, so sometimes things will happen internationally and we won't really see the impact on it. If you look at most of our food products are exported within the region. Zimbabwe still needs the maize and the wheat that we're producing. Congo, of course, we also feed the Congo DR as well. I think things should move on.
The focus when we look at Zambia, especially investment opportunities, is what the Chinese are doing and have done, particularly in investing in extractive industries, especially the mines. Is there another model of investment that is open to other players, not just the Chinese?
It's interesting that because when the Chinese make an investment, a lot of fanfare is made out of it, government gets involved, some minister makes a speech, but there is also a lot of other investment going on. First Quantum, the Australian company that operates Lumwana Mine, recently announced a massive expansion program of what they're doing, and most of their other older mines that have been sort of developed over the last 3, 4, 5 years are actually coming into maturity now. So there is a lot. A lot of private businessmen as well. Some of the Middle Eastern guys, the Lebanese people, coming in, doing a lot of investments of various types, printing sector, into the economy as well.
For those who are not looking for FDI and, you know, buying assets and running them in Zambia, what opportunities are there in terms of equity on listed companies? We know that there's been a lot of excitement when Airtel came in and bought over Zain Kenya. It's the expansion of Konkola copper mines. What else is there?
The Airtel saga, just a brief chat about it. That one is an ongoing story. It is a situation that we're hoping will be resolved. Some of our funds have got positions in Airtel, and it is kind of in a little bit of a limbo right now, with the mandatory offer having been rejected by the some of the minority shareholders. It's gone to court now. Hopefully, maybe there'll be some mediation or some settlement to make sure that things are followed according to procedure. We, as the investment community in Zambia, don't want Airtel to go.
Yeah.
You know, they really were, the market cap of $743 million. It's a big company. It was providing a lot of liquidity in the market. So we're really hoping that maybe they'll see things differently and stay. In terms of, sorry, the other part of the question?
Just generally, other companies that people should look at and sectors in particular.
The agribusiness sector is the one that everybody talks about when they look at Zambia, apart from the mining, of course, which is mostly represented by Zambeef. The banking sector is also quite strong. What's happening is that in the old days, Zambians used to have a very bad credit culture. They'd borrow money and buy a Mercedes. Nowadays, they're actually borrowing money and actually pay it back. So the banks have been doing quite well. In terms of most people looking at Africa, look at the BBT, the banks, breweries, and telecoms. And the breweries also strong. Submiller's got a very strong presence and almost 100% market share.
But for investors wanting to come into Zambia, there is the caveat, the limitation that is posed by liquidity. It makes it quite difficult for investors to buy shares in that market. What are authorities doing to rectify that?
Well, looking at it historically, most of our listed companies were a legacy of the old nationalization and then subsequent privatization in the early 90s. So a lot of the companies, you look at your Lafarge Cement Zambia, your British American Tobacco Cement Zambia, your Standard Chartered Bank Zambia, they still have their European company, holding 60 to 70, 90% to the company. I'm not so sure about that changing. An interesting thing that's happening is that Standard Chartered Zambia is just doing a bonus issue, a 1-to-5 split, and that should bring about a lot more liquidity into the market with more actual shares. They're raising up their statutory capital.
Finally, the bond market's picking up. We also know that Fitch has given Zambia a more favorable B+ credit rating. How's that going to impact on bonds, especially a lot of series of corporate bonds that are to be issued?
Well, first of all, the B+ was great. You know, it might not be as high as we would have wished it to be, but looking at where Zambia was 10, 7, 20 years ago, you know, things have really improved and things are moving on. It has led to some of the larger companies looking to start issuing some Eurobonds as well. Zambia itself, as the government, is looking to issue a Eurobond, and I'm not sure exactly how far that has gone, but I would envisage it for maybe Q3 or Q4 this year.